Hello, my dears. Welcome. Welcome aboard. If you're brand new, welcome back. If you're not, and welcome home if that sits perfectly for you. Today, we want to talk about what is up this week. This is the week of the 14th through the 20th of April, 2025. It's getting interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it sure is. All right, as always, uh, let's dig right in, shall we? There's no point in doing it any other way that I can imagine. Okay, so let's kind of start here. This week we have all of our planets turning into direct motion. Um, until Pluto begins retrograding on the 4th of May. And then we have a very long span, really until July, until any of the inner planets start to move retrograde. So we have kind of a picking up steam feeling, right? Which is kind of nice because we have been in green goo mode for quite a while. So it feels kind of good. We also we are building this week. Pay attention. We have our third Mars Pluto opposition on the 26th, right? Which isn't until next week, but we're building this energy in this week. Um, and it is important, right? Mars moving into Leo this week from all of this watery energy, Cancer, right? Mercury moving into Aries from Pisces. We've already had Neptune moving into Aries. So we are in this process of warming up, of drying out, right? From this green goo kind of formative experience that we've been having. Um, and the deal is this transition period that we've been in for several years, honestly, I would say 8 or 9 years, leading up to this pivotal point in time. Um, the question is, how are we going to apply these lessons? What are we going to do with this energy that we've been witnessing, right? The question is about application. The question is about motion. The question is about how to now. And in line with that, we have to question also our sense of direction, our sense of trajectory, right? So this is launch season. So what I'd like you to pay attention to as we talk is how, if we're talking about launch season, what really matters is your trajectory, right? Your trajectory. Um, it's about deliberate movement. Um, yeah, deliberate movement. Okay. On Monday, the 14th, we start with a Scorpio moon, and that moon is going to quincunx Jupiter, right? That's our only major aspect. So on Monday, mind your reactivity, right? Consciously make choices about what you want and where you're going to lean into that, because the where you're choosing is what's going to matter. Remember, Jupiter always amplifies, and Jupiter in Gemini amplifies anything you choose to give. So be cautious. On Tuesday, that Scorpio moon is very busy. Um, she will quincunx Chiron. She trines Venus, opposes Uranus. Quincunx is the sun, and then she will trine Saturn, Mars, and Mercury, right? Before moving into Sagittarius, and this is like 9:30 in the evening. So you have a Scorpio moon in the sky pretty much all day, and then that Sag moon trines Neptune. So Mercury also moves out of storm, right, today. So it's kind of a big deal. We also have a grand water trine with um, Neptune at that zero point, that world point, the 0 degree of Aries point, right? As the moon trines Venus and Saturn and Mars and Mercury and Neptune, right? So this is about home. And remember, when we talk about home and Venus, we're talking about what home feels like, looks like, sounds like, tastes like, right? Um, for you, always and only for you, right? This is a 100% self reflexive, experiential kind of awareness. So, this sense of home, right? And then the how, the expression of your highest and best. All of these are absolutely available. And not only are they available, but they're available with like jet propulsion, right? So the key here is to make sure that you are not allowing any sort of illusion or confusion, right? You're keeping your powder dry, as the case may be, um, and remaining in motion. Remember, we're talking about moving out of watery energy, moving out of the green goo experience into this more stable, more reactive, fiery energy, right? So, as long as you're making sure that you're staying in motion without moving too fast, so that you can witness what's really there, um, the key here is to take your time, right? We've been in kind of this slowed down phase of energy, right? This watery energy that allows you to kind of be in this flowy state. And what's happening is all of a sudden the gears are kind of engaging and we're moving, right? We're beginning to move. Well, again, we talked about this trajectory is going to be super important here. So just because the gears are moving doesn't mean you're ready for motion, right? You're still getting ready. So take your time. On Wednesday, Mercury moves into Aries, and that Sagittarius moon sextiles Pluto, and Mercury in Aries conjuncts Neptune. Right? Mercury is out of shadow. And finally, as Mercury moves into Aries, you feel like your ability to be heard is really reliant upon the message that you're delivering, not the environment in which you're standing while you deliver it, right? Still, still, choose your words very, very carefully, and make sure that message is as clear as you can make it. Because here's the thing, remember, that narrative is absolutely creating your reality too. And if it's the thing that you're living inside, you really want to make sure that what it is that you're putting out into the world is exactly what you intend it to be. Um, on Thursday, that Sag moon opposes Jupiter, trines Chiron, and then Mars moves into Leo at 11:20 p.m. Central Time, right? So right before the day changes, and after that, that Sag moon is going to square Venus. Um, so Mars is exiting that Cancerian wetland, right, for drier, hotter topography. Now, here's the thing. Um, Feel into that heat, right? Let the structure of you adapt to this new thing. We're talking about that green goo self coming out of that cocoon that we've been in for so long, right? Let your structure adapt to this new environment. The energy will move differently. It will ripple faster. It will, different layers will be available. Different dimensions will be available. Again, I cannot stress enough. This is not a time to move impulsively, right? Give yourself plenty of time to flex into this new space. Feeling this new atmospheric density is very, very important. Do not fall for the hype, right? There's going to be a whole lot of hype this week. Don't fall for it on any of these days, on any of them. Don't fall for the hype, okay? on Friday, the 18th, that Sag moon is going to quincunx Uranus early, square Saturn, trine the sun. And then the moon moves into Capricorn in the morning, right, on Friday. And then that Capricorn moon is going to quincunx Mars, and then square both Saturn and Mercury. Now, on Friday, it will finally feel like spring, right? It will feel like you're shaking off the cloaking, the pallor, the shrouding energies of the last few weeks, or I mean, really months, right? This is when all of this kind of fog is really going to feel like it has burnt off. Um, you might wake up feeling super rejuvenated and really grounded into the new energies. Again, give yourself time. Your surroundings are not yet clear. Just because you feel clear, right? That's a step in the right direction. But your surroundings are not always ready for you to move at the pace you think you are ready to move for, right? Just move with caution, and think about it in like safety first kind of terms, right? If the terrain is unknown, slow your pace so that you are sure that what you're witnessing is the thing that you want to witness, right? And that you're moving in the way that you want to move. On Saturday, the 19th, the sun moves into Taurus in the afternoon. Mars in Leo, of course, trines Neptune, and then that Capricorn moon is going to quincunx Jupiter, right? We have a lot of interesting Jupiter energy this week. So on Saturday, Taurus season, right? It strides in with big, giant energy, of course. Take the time to ground, take the opportunity to make sure that you're sinking those roots in deeply, right? Taurus season enters with a Capricorn moon, right? Um, Nobody can complain about that. Um, Saturn is really offering you a big picture of your why, right, in this space. Let that guide you and be absolutely open to any kind of new clarity. Remember, I talked about the third and final Mars Pluto opposition in this cycle that will be happening next week with this Mars trining Neptune. If you set this trajectory with this confusion, with this Neptunian kind of wooey, gauzy, blurry feeling, you are going to become acutely aware of why that wasn't the best option next week. So take the extra time to really ground and get clear on whatever this might be for you. Yeah. So that when we get to that point next week, you can say, oh, I get it, instead of, oh man, I wish I would have got it. Right? And then on Sunday, listen, it is a busy astrological day. That Capricorn moon is going to square Chiron and sextile Venus, trine Uranus and sextile Saturn. Venus in Pisces will sextile Uranus. Mercury in Aries will sextile Pluto. The moon moves into Aquarius about 6 o'clock in the evening. And that Aquarius moon sextiles Neptune. And then the Taurus sun squares Mars. And then the moon, of course, in Aquarius will oppose Mars in Leo and square the sun. These are layers of energy. This also happens to be Easter. It also happens to be Ostara, right? This is the first Sunday after the first full moon after the vernal equinox, right? This is our Easter. This is how we get to Easter, right? The first Sunday after the first full moon after the vernal equinox. Here we are, right? Easter is an astrological holiday. It is not about bunnies and eggs. It's about a portal. So we know every day is a portal. This just happens to be the Ostara portal, the new dawning portal, right? So layers of energies, and multiple opportunities for you to witness. The moon is going to spend most of that day helping you to feel into and to not recreate any old patterns, right? Focus on grounding, focus on your breath, and come back here and here and here every single time you can. There is absolutely a depth of support for your deepest truths today, right? Sharing them from a very open hearted and honest and authentic space um, can change the course of your life today. Pay attention and lead with compassion, right? And also, do not take yourself too seriously, especially this evening. Go to bed and review the day privately. Right? This is not a day to have kind of a counsel of how did your day go. This is the day to take your own counsel of how your day went. What was I um, learning? How did I move through those layers? How did I work my own plan today? Right? Do it on your own, in your own company on Sunday evening. All right, let's talk. On Monday, we have Judgment and the Seven of Wands. So this is really about what it is that you're choosing to move forward with you. How are you defining your priorities, right? We talked about this as the day where you're consciously choosing to lean into what it is that you want. Well, you get to choose, and it matters, right? It matters that you do that work of determining your system of priority. It's absolutely non-negotiable, right? It's a major requirement for the way that you're moving forward. So do not um, do not overlook your responsibility there to lead with your heart. On Tuesday, we have Justice and the Three of Swords. We have the Three of Swords twice this week, so let's pay attention here. Uh, this is the day that we talked about Mercury leaves storm, right? And really, really paying attention to how it is that you're moving forward now um, with deep propulsion. We have Justice, right? Justice generally wields the sword of truth, and we have this Three of Swords here. This is about the way that things were witnessed as a loss, as a betrayal, as a wounding. What kind of work have you done to heal that? And where can you utilize that sword of justice to cut something away and really get to the heart of the matter? We talked about avoiding illusion here, really scrutinizing things with your most accurate eye, right? And really witnessing what is there so that you know the way that you're moving is not based in this wounded pattern, but really choosing your own balance, choosing your own harmony instead of moving from that place of wounding, right? Again, it matters. Take your time and do this work, right? There's no rush. You're not in a rush. Just because the energy is shifting doesn't mean you're ready to roll just yet, right? On Wednesday, we have the Two of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. So this talks about the way that you are conserving your energy um, in balance, right? The way that you believe you are resourced in motion. Again, we're hearkening back to priorities and the way that you're willing to juggle things. What is truly important to you? You know this on a very deep level. This is the day that Mercury moves out of shadow, and we're really talking about making sure that our message is as clear as possible. You don't want to be confused on your message. Otherwise, you're going to be putting your resources into the, well, I don't want to say the wrong place, but you risk putting your energy into a pattern that you're not really going to want to sustain. And if that's the case, you might as well just move with clarity. Take the extra time to get clear so that your investment pays off in exactly the way you want. as opposed to having to backtrack or put things down or re-begin, right? Um, Paying attention to the fact that this is your narrative, this is your story, right? You might as well take the time and make sure that you know exactly the thing that you're conjuring. On Thursday, again, we have the Three of Swords, seconded here by the Two of Cups, right? So if we've done this work here to really glean our lessons, then what happens is we actually are able to really fill the cups that have been emptied by this loss, this sadness, this wounding. We're feeling into our structure, right? We talked about this. This is that new structure. Um, as we emerge now from this green goo that we've been kind of awash in for so long, making sure that all of the layers are taken care of, all of the dimensions are attended to, uh, so that you're not, again, falling for the hype, right? Just because it feels great doesn't mean it's your healed story. Just because it sounds wonderful doesn't mean it's the thing you've been working on. Make sure that it's your trajectory, right? Just because it sounds beautiful, just because it hits a circuit doesn't mean it's your path. Take the time to make sure you're moving in the way you want to move, right? On Friday, we have the Seven of Cups and the Ten of Swords. All right, this is about options and the way that we are choosing to put things down, right? Ten of Swords is a necessary change, right? A required release. And the Seven of Cups can be confusion. It can also be a multitude of options, things that are really wonderful. And you are, again, going to be called to choose your best option, not, ooh, that sounds pretty, or wow, that sounds great. It has to be in line with your story. Otherwise, you're just replanting these swords into yourself, right? So the way that you're feeling grounded, the way that you're feeling energetic here, the way that you're shoring up to these options has to be super grounded. Make sure that you're not rushing in, right? Make sure that you're not giving over your power to an idea that will not be sustainable. Make sure that you're not being blinded by uh, uh, blinded by temptation or the light of a concept that sounds like a beautiful thing, but ultimately is not in alignment with your core values and where you want to go. Just make sure that you are moving cautiously and deliberately and with attention to what you know to be true. You're the one that's gone through all of this tribulation and travail, right? Don't let that work be for nothing. On Saturday, we have the Ace of Swords and Death. How lovely is this for a beautiful Taurus season beginning? um, Wonderful, right? Taking the opportunity to sink those roots in super deeply, right? What are you pulling out, right? What is all this release that's happening? And what is it that you're planting? We've been talking about this one thing, this idea, this new awareness, right? We have the snake here reminding you that what it is that you're bringing in is just as important as what you're clearing out, right? We have all that deeply grounded energy, right? Today, death asks you, invites you to sink those roots in super deeply. And again, to use this sword to cut away all the nonsense. We're pruning your story of anything that's not in alignment with you, allowing the big picture, allowing your why, right, to really, really guide you, um, and allowing for that new clarity that's going to come in when we have that Mars Pluto opposition, the third one, next week. And remember, this is a Mars Pluto opposition. This is our third. We had one in the beginning of November, right at election time, and here in the US. We had another one in January, right near inauguration time in the US. And we have another one next week. I think the 26th of April. So pay attention to the ideas you are giving root to right now. Prune your awareness, prune your mind of anything that is not in alignment with what it is that you're conjuring right now. Mind your mind for real. We have the Two of Pentacles again, right? We've seen that one this week, clarified by the Queen on Sunday. This is absolutely beautiful, right? We're coming back up to this juggling energy. What is it that you're putting your energy into? Well, guess what? If you've done this work this week, then you're going to see these results almost instantly. We have karma at work here. So you'll know if you're on the right track by the end of this week. We're talking about this is a day of those layers of energy, really allowing you to witness your own work, not creating those old patterns. I didn't give the energy to it back here. I'm certainly not going to witness it again. And really making sure that that depth of support that's available is being met with an open heart, right? With your own best authentic self, so that that's what is amplifying, right? We've got these elements to Jupiter this week that ask us to be really, really clear on what we're amplifying. And the way to do that is to be mindful of where you are. And again, go to bed early Sunday. Go to bed early Sunday night. Do yourself a favor. We also have this brilliant, great balancing, right? This is about karma. This is about Saturn energy. So this is about the way that you're creating, you're structuring your awareness, right? Whatever that is, whatever that means in terms of your life, your experience, your habits, your function, how seriously you're taking your existence, right? And the lessons of your existence these are absolutely in play. It's really about what you're creating right now for yourself. And as long as you're doing that in the intention and in the spirit and in the connection with and to your highest and best, you'll be very, very pleased with those results, right? So take your time. Don't be in a hurry. Even though this energy feels great and you want to do and accomplish things and set it all on fire and launch it, right? Let you get your feet under you first, right? You can't run on quicksand. Let that ground dry around you before you start to run on it. We have, the number one, when the storm spirits play, right? Where's my book? Wow. Well, I don't know where it is. Well, it's got to be somewhere. Oh, okay. Yeah. We just came out of Mercury retrograde, right? It's all good. Okay. Essential meanings here. Oh, look at that. Understanding how to navigate divine chaos, clearing the air, stirring the pot, scattering seeds, bringing new possibilities. You are being asked to surrender your need to control outer circumstances, which is based on a desire to feel more certain, avoid confrontation, or resist change. This card signifies a time to trust that this chaos, this disorder, this turbulence that has shown up in your life is temporary but important. You're now able to let go of what is unnecessary or that which you've resisted releasing, right? We talked a lot about that. This is a week where all of the things you're still holding on to are going to come up for recognition, and you'll get to either renew or release those awarenesses. So pay attention, right? Pay close attention to what's coming up this week. Okay, consider how clear the air is after a storm, right? How the dead branches are pruned from the trees. We literally just said that, right? And how potent seeds are scattered so new life can sprout into the soil, right? Hello. Even if you find yourself in conflict now, there is a gift in this. It invites you to see things from alternate perspectives, and it provides you with a lot of valuable information. New, important possibilities arise from the chaos at hand. For now, the highest good for you is to remain in the center of the storm. Meditate and be mindful of your reactions, as you don't have all the information needed yet to make the authentic choice. Watch and wait. Yes, yes, yes. There is a divine reordering at the root of this chaos. Listen deeply for the epiphany rising to greet you, and you will know the gifts this experience holds for you, right? All of those things, all of these wounds and sadnesses, right? They come with that pearl in hand for you. It's your job to sit with them long enough to learn what that pearl is all about, right? Okay. When the storm spirits play, amazing things are stirred up through this divine change for the highest good of all. Remember, you are a weaver of dreams too. Even if you must pivot, even if the threads of your destiny get frayed, the pattern you set will be breathtaking. So, this is really about witnessing yourself as your karmic product, right? As the sum of all of these things, not judging any of them, but using your own discernment to understand what it is that was here for you as a lesson, what it was that was here for you as a resource, and the difference. What are you holding on to? What are you releasing? And how do you figure that out? Well, it's all about coming back to that center, right? That quiet center, whether or not you witness it as the eye of the hurricane, because life is always moving around you, as the car that's moving up and down on the roller coaster. It doesn't matter. Your willingness to come back to center, to come back to your deepest connection, right? With your own trajectory and set that trajectory based on where it is you believe you belong and why, right? And why is the way you figure that out, right? So take the time, right? As we move into Taurus season, as we really officially end retrograde season here, as we prepare for the last of our Mars Pluto oppositions, just pay attention. We have a lot of big energy available this week that can help us get closer to clarity. So just keep in mind the whole arc of your trajectory, right? Not just the now, not just the things that bother you, but where you're going and what resources you are given as a result of even the speed bumps, um, even the delays, even the heartbreaks, even the losses, right? Just pay attention to what you're learning and to what that pearl is all about. Mm. All right, guys. Have a great week. Be mindful, do the work, and I will see you next time. Till then, take care.